GMGP, good morning, good people. Y'all could have been anywhere in the world, but y'all decided to wake up with us. You're sick. You're sick in the head. There's a lot of fantasy football shows out there, but I promise y'all, they not like us. Brock Bowers, you looked a little quicker than fast. What does that even mean? Redraft, dynasty, best ball, high stakes, we got you covered. And that's MVS and Justin Watson with some of the dopest tools designed to help you cancel out the noise and dominate your leagues. If there's a white wide receiver named Antoine, sign me up. Maybe it's cultural. I don't know. In season or off season, rain, sleet, hail, and snow, comma, semicolon, period, next sentence, to bring you the most actionable and entertaining content on YouTube. You don't go buy the dip on the Titanic.
Quarterback that you love, D-Bro. One of the best values in fantasy football.
Prop bets with my man JRich.
Is that yes! Let's go!
So wipe the crust out of your eye, get you a cup of coffee. It's time to wake y'all asses up. We're Ray
and Jay
in the morning.
My God.
How good is he? How good? Let's get it. GMGP. It is Friday, August the 8th, 2025. Y'all decided to wake y'all asses up with myself and my brother from another mother. Y'all know who it is, the Canadian Jordan Richards. This is Wake Up with Ray and Jay every Monday, every Wednesday, every Friday. We are on the channel 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Hit that thumbs up button, like the stream, support, subscribe to the channel, tap in all the dope stuff that we have going on. JRich, I already see it in the chat, man. Generationally bad pick. Here we go. Genty is a bum. Anthony Richardson took the first sack in NFL history last night. Daniel Jones, no better. The Ravens rolling. Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow back on the field. We got preseason football tonight. We got to talk about some college. There's a Manning down in Texas who said, I ain't going nowhere. JRich, and then a big loss in LAC. And I think that's where we're going to start after I get you on the screen, my man. How you doing this Friday, baby?
I've had better days, Ray. I've had better days. But nice to know that your Ravens are still flying. And,
what's wrong? What's the matter?
Oh, nothing's wrong.
What's wrong?
Nothing's wrong. Well, I'll be honest, Ray.
Be honest.
I listened to Jid's album this morning, and it was a little bit underwhelming. I was hoping for JID, bro. Jid.
Oh.
Come on, man. I listened to his album this morning. Little underwhelming. It was good, though. It had its moments. But, yeah, man, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't know if you saw the news. Not really breaking news, but the Red Sox signed Roman Anthony for 8 years, so that was pretty sweet.
Okay. Okay.
Happy about that. But, yeah, man, I was happy to watch some football last night. How are you doing, man? How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. It's Friday. It's our first time doing a full week in a while, JRich. So I'm just glad we got here. No echo, right? Do the people?
I think we're good.
Adam said, JRich, talk to us. I think we are good. No echo. We got it figured it out. I'm feeling good, man. I'm feeling good. It's Friday. We got preseason football tonight. We had football late last night, man. I'm hurting, JRich. Them Pacific.
I watched it this morning, not gonna lie.
Oh, my goodness. I
didn't watch it last night.
Struggle bus last night, man. I almost forgot to put the damn trash out this morning. I'm just letting you know. Home ownership, the worst thing you can do as a husband and a father is forget to put the damn trash out, JRich. It's like you failed the family whenever that trash is piled up sky high and got damn maggots all over your trash can because you forgot to take it out. So I had to get that out this morning. I'm tired, Jay, but I'm all right, baby. We got a lot to talk about, JRich. And honestly, damn the preseason, because we got to talk about something that's about to impact us in the regular season. I think the biggest piece of news that happened yesterday, unfortunately, JRich, came from your team, a top 5 offense. Los Angeles Chargers, JRich, they are down. Offensive tackle Rashawn Slater, man, carted off of the field yesterday. Season-ending ruptured patella tendon for their recently signed $113 million left tackle there to protect Justin Herbert. Listen, man, this is a big loss for LAC. This is a big loss for the Chargers. I want to show some love to Rich Rebar. Rich Rebar put out this tweet yesterday, JRich, just talking about this offense with a lot of moving parts. So here's Rich Rebar. Shout out to @LordReebs on X. A lot of moving parts here for 2025, but the Chargers ran 159 plays last season with Rashawn Slater off of the field. On those 159 plays, 4.8 yards per play, 27th in the NFL. 37.9% success rate, 29th in the NFL. 3.2 yards per carry, 32nd in the NFL. 15.1 rate of 10-plus yard plays, dead last. 5% rate of 20-yard plays, 24th in the NFL, right? Smaller sample size. He didn't play week 4. Chargers scored 10 points. Left early in week 3, 30 snaps, they scored 10 points, and then in week 18, they played well. This is one of the best young left tackles in football on in line that has been much improved. You got Mekhi Becton. They brought Becton over. They drafted Joe Alt in the first round. You got Zion Johnson at one of the guard spots, and Rashawn Slater was slated to hold down that left side, protecting Justin Herbert's blind side. Here's the data when he's not on the field. I'll just say, reading the beat reporters and people who cover the Chargers, outside of Justin Herbert going down, this is one of the guys they really could not afford to lose, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And this is the same conversation we had with Tampa Bay, a month ago? And let's not forget what's going on here, right? Let's hope that Joe Alt can be fine at left tackle. But outside of that, this is a massive loss. This is their second best player, and it's not particularly close. There's a reason why he's the highest paid left tackle in football, and the reason why they re-signed him. And thank God he got his money prior to the injury. But this is a massive loss for the Chargers. It's going to hurt the pass game. It's going to hurt the rushing attack. And it's going to put a lot more pressure on Justin Herbert, when in reality, he should have had a great offensive line going into their second year, much more developed. They added Mekhi Becton to play at right guard. He's obviously not going to play tackle. He hasn't had success at tackle at the NFL level yet, but they have a month to figure it out, right? They have a former tackle in Mekhi Becton that maybe could go out to right tackle and play there. But they have a swing tackle already. They have a right guard in Becton. They probably move Alt to left tackle, and he's got a month to figure it out. At least he played that position at his time during college, so he's much more familiar with how to slide and all that. But it's at the NFL level now, so he has to show the ability to make that work. And the Chargers have to find a way to make it work because he's not going to be back this season. But Ray, in your opinion, who do you think this hurts the most? Because in some ways, it's going to hurt the pass catchers a bit, but the volume was kind of always going to be what it was going to be. Just maybe the clean pocket percentage isn't as high as it would have been otherwise. But when you talk about Omarion Hampton and how high he's being drafted, that's probably where it hurts the most, because when you have Alt and Becton on one side where they're probably going to run a little bit more to that right side, you take Alt away from there, and that primary rushing side is affected now because you have a swing tackle and Becton there. So I'm really curious kind of what your thoughts on how this impacts the offense, because, I'm obviously out riding high Wednesday. Keenan Allen just signed. We're ready to go, boys. Top 5 offense. That dream is basically dead. You just can't do it without Rashawn Slater. It's just probably not going to happen. They can still have a fine offense. They can still put up points, but per Rich Rebar's quote, obviously it's going to be heavily impacted by this injury. So what are your thoughts on what's going to happen here with this Chargers team, and who do you think it impacts the most offensively?
Well, it impacts Justin Herbert the most. I mean, that's who it impacts the most. It impacts Justin Herbert. It impacts the continuity up front. I guess if you're looking for silver lining, it happened early. It didn't happen the week before the season started. I guess my thought is, and I don't know who the backup offensive linemen are in Los Angeles, but investing $113 million in Rashawn Slater, using a top 6 pick on Joe Alt last year, I would venture to say that there's probably not a ton of high quality depth on the tackles behind those two. Their investment was
Pipkins that's going to play there.
Their investment was placed in Joe Alt and paid up front with Rashawn Slater. So I think first and foremost, it impacts Justin Herbert. Small sample size. We're talking 159 snaps without Slater on the field last year, but the data and the numbers you can't debate it. That wasn't good when he wasn't on the field. And maybe that's a product of yanking him out in week 3, week 4, and then him leaving in week 13, and you're disrupting stuff inside the season as the flow is going on, opposed to knowing I'm not going to have him. They've got time to try to figure something out. But as it stands today, the biggest person it impacts is Justin Herbert. I'm not as worried about Hampton because, listen, I'm not even trying to be funny. They're showing the pictures of Najee in the helmet. You can't see his other eye, right? It's closed, it's swollen, whatever. They got it sewed together. It's not open. Probably can't see. So Hampton's going to get volume regardless. I think the person it impacts the most is Justin Herbert and his ability to have a clean pocket, as you said, time to throw the ball. The real question is this, and we were in the Discord last night, and my take on it is I don't know if there's any fantasy movement I would do. I'm not saying that I'm moving Herbert down. I'm not moving Hampton down. I'm just very aware. I'm hyper focused on the situation. If it comes, and remember, Herbert was beat the hell up last year. I mean, he was
with an ankle injury as well, right?
So that's just
partially the reason why they weren't scoring a lot of points around that stretch.
He was taking shots left and right. So I'm just very cognizant of the situation. And if the first couple of weeks it just looks a mess, Jay, at that point, in leagues where you can make a move, that might be time to make a pivot. But what can you do right now? Like, what would you do right now? Would you move Herbert down? Would you move Omarion Hampton down? Do you want to do you want to get right into it and play an Omarion Hampton game? Do you want to do a little? I think this is interesting. You want to do a little would you rather?
I think Hampton is the one. So just overall thoughts quickly before we get into the would you rather. Let's do that with Hampton. So get that list pulled up. McConkey, again, you want to downgrade him a little bit based off where he's at. I'm kind of fine with that, but I don't think it hurts him a ton. Herbert, again, he's not super overpriced. Maybe you prefer another quarterback kind of around his range, but he's not so highly priced that you have to move him down, or there's a bunch of guys who are going to pass him now because of that. It wasn't like he was super good last year. It's just maybe the ceiling isn't quite as high. I don't think it hurts him a whole lot in terms of his fantasy output. Obviously, on the field, it's going to impact him a lot. He'll have to do a lot more, but maybe he runs a little bit more as a byproduct of a less clean pocket as well. So, yeah, let's talk about Hampton, because I know that he's pretty highly priced, but I don't even know what range he's in right now.
He's RB12. He's RB12 on Underdog.
Okay.
RB12. And I'm looking at the names around him. I don't know if you're going to go very far down. I don't think you'll move him. I'll give you a few. I'm going to start low and work my way up, okay?
Cool.
Travion Henderson or Omarion Hampton?
Omarion Hampton.
Okay. Chuba Hubbard or Omarion Hampton?
Omarion Hampton.
Kenneth Walker or Omarion Hampton?
I honestly might take Walker.
Yeah, you would not. You wouldn't.
Really?
I don't think you would.
But, okay.
Okay, let me give you
Walker,
one more.
He's going to be the bell cow, though.
I don't even know if he's practicing. James Cook or Omarion Hampton?
I kind of lean Hampton there.
Okay. He's ahead of everybody that I've named so far. He's ahead of everybody that I've named. Breece Hall or Omarion Hampton?
I'm probably taking Hampton.
He's ahead of Breece. Kyren Williams or Omarion Hampton?
Probably taking Hampton.
Alvin Kamara or Hampton?
I mean, I'll probably take Hampton, but let's not be surprised if Kamara scores him, right?
Well, then he's not moving. He's right there at RB12. He's ahead of Kyren. He's ahead of Breece. He's ahead of Cook. He's ahead of Walker. He's ahead of Chuba. Ahead of Kamara and ahead of Henderson. That puts Henderson was at RB19. So you're not really adjusting much. The running back's going to get the volume. I think the person it really impacts is Justin Herbert. And his price right now isn't even ridiculously high. So if
is
anything,
he even a top 12 quarterback?
He's not a top 12. He's not a top 15 quarterback.
Yeah, then
he's not even.
It doesn't change anything, right?
He's QB 17. So what will end up happening maybe is maybe people take Trevor Lawrence ahead of him. He's only a spot below. Maybe they take Jordan Love ahead of him. He's 2 spots below. So maybe they take Penix. It's just he's already priced pretty nicely. On Underdog. So I don't know if there's going to be a lot of movement at all.
No one likes Walker, man. Walker could be really good this year, and I think
people are just. I think people are worried about is him being on the field and his availability. I think that's the thing with Walker.
I get that, but when he's on the field, he's probably a top 10 running back, right? Like when he's on the field and he's catching passes, which all reports are he's going to be the bell cow. Like beat reporters out of Seattle have said, like it's going to be the Kenneth Walker show. And so, like, just because of that, I understand the injury concerns and I understand all that, but if he didn't have injury concerns, he'd probably be going even higher, right? He probably would be a top 10 running back. So I just think that you shouldn't just discount what Walker could be, because when he's on the field, he's been the guy at times, and that upside is definitely there for Kenneth Walker.
All right, JRich, I'm a little upset with you, man. I'm a little upset with you because I asked you after the show on Wednesday. I was like, hey, man, we got to put some shorts out there. We got to start putting some clips out there. The season is starting. We got to promote the show. You chose to take the misquoted, misrepresented thing that I said. I was talking about
or misrepresented.
It was
not AI.
it was miscontext. It was miscontextualized, all right? There was no context there talking about Matthew Stafford and the back injury. Right after that, you put that out there, the backs and the shots of the back. The report came out that he was going to throw. I believe the Rams play their preseason game on Saturday. He's going to throw on Saturday before the game in warmups. And if all goes well, Matthew Stafford will be on the field practicing next week. So this is a positive development from the doom and the gloom that was just 72 hours ago.
So my question to you, Ray, is: does this change anything for you? Does
Not
this
really,
report
not really.
sway
But at
you
least,
in the
at least
slightest?
he's doing
Right?
something,
Like,
right?
It's good to know that he's going to be on the field. It makes us think, okay, when week 1 rolls around, hopefully he's on the field and available. But it doesn't necessarily change the fact that he still got the epidural, or as you like to call it, back shots. He still is injured and has this back injury, and we still don't know what to project as far as his availability and if something happens, how long he could potentially be out as a result of this back injury. So while yes, it's an encouraging sign that he's throwing and could be in practice on Monday, I just don't know how much it changes the potential risk that Stafford poses right now and whether or not we should be necessarily moving him up or down. And like, I took a lot of heat more personally because I was the one doing the would you rather, how we feel about Puka Nacua, Davante Adams, because of this, and are they worth the risk? And that's really the question to you, is do you think that Puka Nacua at wide receiver 4 is still worth the risk? And from everything we talked about on Wednesday with the would you rather, do you feel any differently knowing that Stafford could be back at practice on Monday?
I still, dude, I'm taking Malik Nabers over Puka. And I've been Puka Nacua the truther since before the draft, from day one. I love Puka Nacua. I would take Malik Nabers over him. I don't think that any receiver that we took, maybe AJ Brown. I'm not, you said you would take AJ Brown. I'm probably not doing that. But outside of that, I've got no issue with BTJ or Drake London or Malik Nabers over Puka. I don't think their range of outcome is that different. Does it change anything? Not really. You know who changes things for me? I'm reacting to it's damn Davante Adams. I'm just saying, Jay. And I get it. Everybody's like, oh, Ray, those Cowboys corners stink. Well, the starters aren't any good either. So doesn't matter if it's the starter or the backup. I'm looking at the fluidity, the movement. Davante Adams looks awesome. I mean, the joint practice clips that I've seen with him versus the Dallas Cowboys, he looks outstanding. And you did ask a question, I believe, last Wednesday. What are the odds Adams finishes as the more productive wide receiver? He's the touchdown guy. He's the savvy veteran. I'm more concerned with that than I am Matthew Stafford or any of that. I love Puka Nacua, man. Puka's dope. I just don't think there's a big drop off if you say I don't want Puka, I want Malik Nabers, or I'd rather have Brian Thomas Jr., or I'd rather have Drake London. I think they're all 140 plus target receivers, and you're just hoping that the situation and the health and the availability of the one that you select maintains throughout the course of the season. So Adams looks awesome. He looks good. Everything that I'm seeing, everything I'm reading, all the beat reporters is this dude. He's just ready to go, Jay.
Yeah, and that's really what I was kind of getting at, even with Puka, right? And we've talked about this throughout the offseason. Like, we are very excited for what Davante Adams can be in Los Angeles. And, hopefully it's Matthew Stafford there, and hopefully it's that tandem. But there was always the concern, at least for me, that Puka's not a touchdown guy, right? He's just not. He's an over-the-middle, great receiver, but they haven't found ways to scheme him open for touchdowns in the red zone. They've used other players, and especially Kyren Williams has been heavily utilized in the red zone as well. But now you have a Davante Adams that we know is a touchdown rainmaker, basically. Double digits is what he does in his sleep. And now having a quarterback of Matthew Stafford's ability is going to make that even easier for him and potentially have an even higher upside. So that's where when you talk about from fantasy purposes, and you asked me even on Wednesday's show how I felt about Adams, and I was like, I'm not moving Adams at all. He's a mid-wide receiver, too. He's got great touchdown upside. He's going to be the wide receiver 1B, sometimes 1A, probably some weeks in this offense. And Puka Nacua can go and get all the yards in the world. But there's still a world where Davante Adams can outscore him because the touchdowns could be there, and he's still great in his own right. So that's where, when you have Puka at 4 and Adams all the way down in the mid-second at like 18, 19, you don't need to move Adams because of this injury. He's still going to see a ton of volume and still be more than fine. But when you have a player like Puka Nacua, who's drafted so highly, it's easy to poke holes and say, well, look, do we really need to take him this high when there are some concerns versus players with virtually no concerns? So I'm with you. I'm very excited for Adams. I think it's going to be great. Hopefully Stafford is there for the whole season, healthy, and this Rams offense can be as good as we expect it to be. But if he's not, I'm not overly concerned because of what his price is right now, and I still think he can outperform it pretty easily.
He looks good, JRich. He looks good out there. Say what you want about who he's going up against, but when these are NFL
he's
players.
Doing his job.
He's doing what he's supposed to do, and he looks incredible. JRich, incredible. Rubio, shout out to Rubio. And Rubio, I appreciate you. He was watching the Yahoo stuff as well and commenting over there. So if you don't know, I'm on the Fantasy Forecast, Yahoo Fantasy's new fantasy football channel. Every week, articles coming out. Follow my X feed. And also, Jay, we should put the articles in the description of the video for anybody that doesn't. There's probably a lot of people on YouTube who don't engage in the Twitters or the blue skies of the world. So we'll put that up there. But thank you, Rubio, for the support. He said Puka is definitely not the alpha compared to Adams. What do you think? I would tend to agree, but Adams is a new guy coming into something that Puka's already been a part of for 3 years. So I don't know if I would go that far, but I'm not going to knock him for saying that.
So I think the problem is, what does alpha mean? Because to me,
I think
Adams is an alpha, right? Like he's a dominant outside wide receiver that can get open at will. And especially when you talk about alphas can score touchdowns. Like a true alpha scores touchdowns. Puka is an alpha in just about every way. He just doesn't quite have the touchdown upside right now. But that can always change.
But remember
when
we did that with Kittle? Remember we did that with Kittle? Oh, he's great, but he can't score. And then all of a sudden he starts scoring, and then we haven't looked back.
I mean, that's the Trey McBride thing, right? But I think for receivers, it's a little different because tight ends touchdowns are a little bit more sporadic at times. And it's not to say that Puka can't do it. We just haven't seen it yet, right? Like it's the same thing with Omarion. If Omaron's scoring 6-7 touchdowns a season, he's not a first-round pick, right? That's basically what Puka is. Puka is essentially Omarion without the high touchdown upside right now, and probably slightly less in terms of reception volume, but he does a little bit more after the catch, has much higher yardage upside. But yardage upside for receivers matters a little bit less than in terms of receptions and touchdowns, and that's where an Adams and Amon-Ra are a little bit more valuable at times. So I wouldn't necessarily say that Puka isn't an alpha, but he's not an alpha in the way that we would describe like real alphas, the Jeffersons, the Chases. I don't think he's alpha personally.
He's a wide receiver 4, so he's being drafted. All of that, I hear you, but he's wide receiver 4, so he's drafted just like that.
Not my wide receiver 4.
Well, so. That's how. Well, I got it. He's wide receiver. Yeah, we did the thing. You'd have him around anywhere from 8 to 10. That's 8
to 10 probably is where
that's where you had him. The Drew said, Ray, did I see you put your money where your mouth is? Rome and Emeka in your top 5 in your exposure. The Drew, appreciate you pulling up to the show. What he's referencing is, I posted this all-in Emeka Egbuka after the tweets. These are 160 of the underdog teams that I've drafted. It doesn't, breaks it off in a section, so there's another bunch of them out there. But yeah, my top exposure. Just read the names, JRich, because I just want to make this. I want to make this very clear to people. When I say stuff, good or bad, I am in the fire with you. I am not one of them people, one of those content creators who talk and then don't go do the shit that I'm talking about, whether it's right or wrong. 2022, I was all in that Daniel Jones. After they took the Giants to the playoffs, Brian Daboll's changed the culture. I was in those fiery streets with you. Who are my top 5 exposure guys, JRich?
Your number 1, of course, Romo Odunze. Number 2, Emeka Egbuka. Number 3, and I love this one, Ray, Dak Prescott. We both love Dak this season. Number 4, RJ Harvey, Denver's 5th string running back per the unofficial depth chart. And number 5, maybe a great segue for us as we head into some of these games, Donte Thornton, the rookie wide receiver out of Tennessee, playing for the
I put my money. I don't bullshit y'all, man.
Running with the ones.
I'm gonna tell y'all right now, good or bad, one thing that you will never ever have to worry about from OGQ is being a goddamn liar. If I'm telling you I'm in on Rome, I'm telling you I'm in on Harvey, I'm telling you I'm in on Thornton, I've put my money up. I just letting you know. So yes, the Drew, those are my 2 of my top 5 in Underdog exposure. And then, of course, different platforms and shit like that, DraftKings, whatever. But we can segue into the games, JRich, if you want to do that. Which game do you want to start with? Can we get the obvious players and games out of the way? Can we get the obvious ones out of the way?
Eagles out?
Let's get the Bengals Eagles out of the way right now. And if I'm Cincinnati, I'm done. Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, you're done. You're done for the preseason. Practice. Jay, Burrow was 9 for 10, 122, 123, 2 damn touchdowns. Jamar Chase, and the touchdown was great, but the best catch was the toe tap on the sideline. Like that, for him to get his.
Was he in though?
What did the refs?
I don't think he was.
What did the refs
I watched
call?
It this morning.
What did the refs say?
I don't know if he was actually in.
Oh, this offense is going to be awesome. And the defense is ass. The defense was awful. That was the damn starters out there versus backup Eagles. And Will Shipley is just running through legs wide open, big holes, right? He's running right through them. That's against the starting defense. New defensive coordinator. Jamar Chase is coming off the board 101. I'm taking him number 1 overall. I know JRich, receivers don't repeat triple crowns. He will. Like if there's gonna be a receiver to win the triple crown, to repeat the wide receiver triple. Give me all the Jamar Chase I can handle. I mean, they just offensively, and I get, Ray, it's the backups. They went out there and executed, right? Go out there, boom, boom, boom. I've seen enough. I don't give a shit if it was against Keely Ringo. Get him off the screen. I'm good. We'll see you in September.
Yeah, well, that's not going to happen, right? The whole reason why they're playing is so they start fast in the regular season. But they did look great. My only real takeaway from the Bengals offense is Chase Brown dump-offs, right? Like, that offensive line is still not very good. There's still a massive work in progress. And if Chase Brown's going to be catching 2-3 passes a game for the whole season,
yeah, like Chase Brown too.
Yeah, like I've thought that he could be a top 10, top 5, even running back at times potentially. And seeing him catch those dump-off passes, do a little bit with it, like that is what's going to play. Like he had 3 receptions in basically a quarter. And you start extrapolating that out to like 4 or 5 a game, that's going to pay dividends for fantasy football throughout the season. So we'll see. But it's only a couple drives, and Burrow even said he doesn't really care. Like, it's just about executing. The only pass he missed was one that was maybe slightly high to T. Higgins that you could also argue that T probably should have caught. But, yeah, that defense got carved up by Tanner McKee on the other side. And they even executed the tush push on 4th and goal, which is
they
funny.
got that. They were comparing old Tanner McKee to Tom Brady, JRich. Yeah. They're like, anything happens to Hurts, we keep going. We got Tanner McKee ready to go.
80%.
Yeah, Chase
10
Brown.
yards per attempt, man. Crazy.
Chase Brown, clear-cut starter. Samaje Perine coming in on 3rd down situations. So there you go. And it looks like Taj Brooks, he played well, showed some flashes, but he's going to be the backup running back for Chase Brown. It's going to be the Chase Brown show. It's going to be Samaje Perine, trusted veteran, can run the routes, protect Joe Burrow. You do not want Chase Brown back there trying to pass protect on 3rd downs. It will not end well. As we saw what happens in another game when there's miscommunication or a misunderstanding of what the hell is going on. I've just seen enough. And Sean said it. He said it right here in this comment. He said, I don't know, man. Burrow and Chase, they might need more reps. Only been playing together for 5 years. And it's even longer than that when you go back to LSU. They are simpatico. They are in sync, literally. JRich. All right. Go ahead and call him a bust, JRich, the number 1 running back off of the board. People are saying Ashton Jeanty is a bust after going 3 carries for -1 yards in the Raiders preseason game versus the Seattle Seahawks. Nothing screams football is back, like the massive overreactions. But Ashton Jeanty, JRich, 3 carries, -1 yards. He played 1 series with the Raiders starting offensive line, picked up like 4 yards, and then was in with the backups, and the offensive line was a mess, and 3 carries, -1 yards later. Here we are with people. I mean, I'm seeing all kinds of stuff. Ashton Jeanty, ass, not that good.
Ashton Jeanty. Right?
And I already know. Go ahead and get your jokes off, and then we'll get to the real stuff. So what do you have to say about the performance of Ashton Jeanty? Here it is right here, JRich. Here we go. Here it is. When he's not here, when Ashton Jeanty isn't facing Colorado State at 12 a.m. on the CW, Here's a picture of Eddie Lacy out here. Oh, here's another one. Ashton Jeanty when he's not playing an O-line from Alaska at 2:30 a.m. There's that. I'm going to skip DP because that's a rational take right there. Ashton Jeanty slander. Ashton Jeanty went off 3 carries. Go ahead, JRich. What do you have to say?
I mean, Ray,
Go
let's
ahead.
be honest.
Go ahead.
Let's be honest here. This is a show where we tell the truth, right? We tell the truth.
I am the truth teller. I don't know what you do, but
I tried to tell you that this guy's not Barry Sanders. He's not Adrian Peterson.
Here we go.
Playing in the Mountain West.
Here we go.
It don't hit like the SEC and the Big Ten. So while, yes, the offensive line struggled, I expected a little bit more of Mountain West Brian Robinson than I got last night. And while I think that Ashton Jeanty is a very fine player, and I think Ashton Jeanty can be a great pro, it's not looking good behind this offensive line, and I'm a little bit worried, Ray. I'm a little bit worried because he just didn't do enough to tell me this is the 101. This is the guy I have to draft to be a top running back for fantasy football. I'm just a little bit concerned. I expect a little more. And Ray, let's not forget here. Let's also speak to the other side. Seattle's George Holani, Ashton Jeanty's backup running back at Boise State. 7 carries, 61 yards, and a touchdown, but running behind a much better offensive
So we're about to compare George Holani and Ashton Jeanty.
Well, Ray, here's the best part. You can't compare them. They're not comparable. One had 3 carries for -1 yard. One had 7 carries for 61. They are not comparable at all. One's at the very top of the rushing chart, and one is at the very bottom. Not comparable.
We're going to let JRich has been waiting for this moment to anytime he can use the Mountain West Brian Robinson. Thank you, Joe. My God, please stop it. Zero concern. And let's be
concern.
And here's the thing.
The offensive line was really
bad. And if you watch the game like I watched the game, the person who screwed up the series in the first drive was damn Deontay Thornton, my boy. Dropping a beautiful ball from Geno Smith, which would have put him like closer to 50. Then Jacoby Myers drops a pass. It just stalled the offense, right? That was Geno's series, stalled the offense. The O-line was not very good. But I've got zero concern for Ashton Jeanty. No, we didn't get to see him do anything. Whatever. Preseason game 1. I would have loved to see him run. What do you have to say? You're snickering and ready to say. I've got no concern.
I'm letting you. You can tell.
You have been waiting.
It's just funny. It just makes me laugh, and I find humor in this.
Find it.
When it's a player we like, just preseason, no concerns. But when it's a player we don't like, he's ass. He's no good.
Nah,
we'll see what happens. We'll see. Well, week 2 cannot come soon enough for Ashton Jeanty. Let me tell you, and I'm sure he will look more than fine. I, like you, in reality, I don't have any concerns. I am a little bit concerned about this offensive line. I hope to be a little bit better. But I will say
backup offensive linemen are backup offensive linemen for a reason. And you kind of see that across.
For sure. But Seattle had one of the worst offensive lines last season, too. Like, they did. And they lost assets somehow on the offensive line. But the offensive line looked pretty good. They did look pretty good. And they were opening up holes. And they ran the ball very effectively. But hopefully they can do a little bit more next week. Because we just saw absolutely nothing from Ashton Jeanty. But what are your thoughts on Deontay Thornton? He was running with the ones. He did get a lot of targets, it seemed, early on in that game.
He did.
But how did you feel about him and how he looked in this Raiders offense?
Exactly how I thought he would look. Fast as hell, explosive, made some good catches. He should have had an easy touchdown, and Aiden O'Connell underthrew him. I mean, he completely destroyed the cornerback out there, and it was obvious that Jack Bech is running behind Deontay Thornton. I mean, it's going to be Jacoby Myers, Deontay Thornton, and Trey Tucker out there with the ones for the Las Vegas Raiders and 3 wide receiver sets. Now, Jack Bech, I fully anticipate at some point him sliding into that starter role, getting his opportunity, getting his shots. But Thornton looked good. He looked as advertised. He looked fast. He made a good catch. Big, fast, explosive. And what did Geno Smith want to throw the ball downfield? That's what I tweeted this out this morning. I was doing some research for the article that I dropped yesterday. So check it out. It was ironically, about Ashton Genty, right? Ashton Genty stepping into the workload, and then Mountain West B-Rob pops up about Ashton Genty. But I responded to Marcus Mosher this morning with some data, JRich, with some data. So here's why I'm not concerned. 2013, 2014, Chip Kelly was the OC and the head coach of the Philadelphia Eagles. He had Nick Foles as his quarterback, LaShawn McCoy as his running back. In 2013, Nick Foles was number one in pass attempt percentage, yards that go 15 plus yards down the field. Number three in pass attempt percentage of passes that went 20 or more yards down the field. So Nick Foles pushing the ball downfield in 2013. Number one, 15 plus yard attempts. Number three, 20 plus yard attempts. All while LaShawn McCoy led the NFL in rush attempts and yards. Very next season, maybe it was a fluke. Chip Kelly, hell no. Throw the ball downfield again. Nick Foles, number one in attempts of 15 plus yards, 28.3%. Number one in attempts 20 plus yards down the field in 8 games. Maybe it was a fluke. Maybe LaShawn McCoy fell back. Nope. Number two in attempts, number three in yards. In 2015, he had Sam Bradford and the offense stunk. So in his time as an offensive coordinator, not only did Chip Kelly produce a dynamic running back, an all-pro running back in LaShawn McCoy, and listen, Shady and them, there's no love lost. Shady, Deshaun Jackson, none of them like Chip Kelly. But that offense pushed the ball down the field. And when you've got Geno Smith, who is not even close to the best quarterback the Raiders have had, like he is by far the best quarterback the Raiders have had. And if I were being honest, Jay, who's the second best quarterback in the Raiders organization? Probably Tom Brady. Probably Tom Brady. He's probably the second best quarterback. This is Deontay Thornton's role. Everybody's so afraid. I don't think he's going to have a meaningful role. You know what the first step of having a goddamn meaningful fantasy production is being on the field. It's getting opportunity. And he's on the field getting opportunity in ways that which we like, right? Downfield air yards. You want those air yards, right? He catches one pass for 40-something yards. You're feeling good. He's going to occupy that role. So I thought for him, a very good performance and happy with what we saw. Again, I didn't say that he's going to be an all-pro. He went out there and he did his job, played well, and I thought for preseason game 1, Deontay Thornton looked really good.
Yeah, no, he did, and he made some plays out there, and he was getting open, and even Aiden O'Connell left a ball short that got intercepted that probably could have been a touchdown if it was from Geno Smith, right? And the other guy I do want to give a very quick shout out on the Raiders side is Trey Tucker. Not that I think he's going to be super fantasy viable, but in some best ball leagues, some deeper ones especially, like he's a player that's very fast, can get downfield, and Geno Smith found him very early in that game. Mm-hmm. He's also very complimentary.
I think he caught the first pass.
Yeah,
he caught the first pass.
Yeah, he threw the very first pass, 15 yards down the field to Trey Tucker. Again, not going to be high volume, but much like we'll talk about some of these other players, when the top guys aren't on the field, first place you look, Trey Tucker, right? Jacoby Myers was on the field, but Brock Bowers obviously didn't play in this game. So I do want to give a quick shout out to Trey Tucker. He can get on the field, can make some big plays, and again, stretch the field for this offense. And with Geno Smith's compliments about him, he could make some big plays throughout the season, obviously sporadically, but definitely good. But how do you feel about the other side, Ray? Yeah. We got Drew Lock for the first half. We got Jalen Milroe in the second half.
Drew Lock is out there just playing ball, man. He's just throwing that shit wherever. Doesn't give a damn.
Lock don't care.
He doesn't care. He is going to roll left and throw crossbody and throw interceptions. That's what Drew Lock is going to do. I think the George Alani, let's give him some love. He ran the ball well. I didn't think Damian Martinez was going to play. When I was looking at some of the practice reports, I knew he was in street clothes the other day, but apparently the injury not severe, which is great. But he was playing late in the game. George Halani was up before Damian Martinez. So a little bit of insight there, and any running back on a 53, you hear Scott Connor talk about that strategy so much. I know George Halani's on all waivers. So if you're in deep dynasty leagues, still a lot. I don't know if Kenny McIntosh is still there, but maybe you go check for George Halani. Jalen Milroe.
Not bad. Not bad. He played.
Not bad. I thought he looked good.
Milroe, he played reasonably well. Like I thought honestly, the biggest thing with these guys, like a Jalen Milroe, is you want him to play within himself. Mm-hmm. You don't need him attempting a 40-yard post route down the field because he's probably not going to make that throw and it's probably going to get intercepted.
Right.
He threw the ball short, And especially at the end of the game, when they had the chance to kind of go down the field and score some points, I thought he made a really good throw. I don't even know who the receiver was. It might have been Tyrone Broden, 85 or whatever. It was a little corner route that he threw. I thought it was a great throw. He didn't come down with it, and it kind of stalled the drive. Then he takes like a 15-yard sack on third down.
Yeah,
You're like, okay. Jalen, come on, bro. Like,
it's gonna,
but as far as passing the ball, he played with himself. It was short, intermediate, quick passes,
decisive,
good decisions.
When it wasn't there, he
really
ran.
Bad throws. And yeah, and he ran the ball effectively well, which we know he can do.
He looked fast as hell,
very,
man.
very well.
Here were my thoughts. Probably my expectation from him throwing the football this year is still very, very low, right? Very, very low. But I'm watching him run. I can't show the clips now because we'll get shadow banned and all that other stuff. I'd be shocked if there aren't packages for him in the season. I would be absolutely floored if they didn't have the Milrow package, right? Taysom
they
Hill
said, I think, early on that they were developing some packages and putting them together. So I'm with you. I think they'll probably see some more packages this season.
I mean, he looked fast as hell, dude. I mean, very, very fast.
Yeah.
JRich.
He's the one that kind of gave me those Lamar Jackson vibes when he started taking off.
Dude, somehow the algorithm, right? So there's a 3-minute clip out here of Lamar Jackson's first preseason game. He was playing all into the third quarter, first preseason game. Good throws. Right? I mean, he was so juiced up, man. Fast, fresh out of Louisville. Like, he moves very... I know Anthony Richardson went out there and tested as the most athletic quarterback at the combine in NFL history, but Milrow, when he hits the gas and the acceleration, I would be floored if they don't have a rushing package for Jalen Milrow in Seattle.
Yeah.
What's that going to account for in fantasy? Probably not a lot, but I think it will get somebody in some league somewhere excited for the future. And I want him. I've got a couple of Milrows that you got in the 3rd, 4th round of rookie drafts. Look good. He looked good. I don't know what else to say. I think he answered the call for his first NFL start. For his first NFL preseason start, you walk away with more positives and negatives in Jalen Milrow, more encouraging signs than negative, detrimental signs. So good for Jalen Milrow. Let's give him a round. Good for Milrow. Good for Milrow. Good for Milrow. Round of applause for Milrow. He did his job. Other players on the Seattle side, Arroyo got a couple of passes, but you know who didn't play? A.J. Barner, which lets me know that A.J. Barner right now, at least early August of training camp, is ahead of Elijah Arroyo, which should not come as a surprise to anybody, but A.J. Barner probably going to factor in to that Seattle offense as well. Anything else from this game, JRich?
I just want to give a shout out to Torrey Horton as well. He's another player that has been ascending through camp.
Sorry
we haven't
about
talked
that.
about him at all.
Yeah.
No, you're good. But yeah, he scored a touchdown. He looked good. 7 targets, targeted early. One of Drew Lock's favorites early in this game. So good to see him get some action. And again, this is a team where we like Jack Smith and Jigba. We think that Cooper Kupp can kind of do some things. But maybe there is a world where Torrey Horton could work in as a 3rd wide receiver, 4th wide receiver, and make an impact for this team. Again, it's going to be sparingly. It's not going to be a ton of targets, but for a rookie to go out there, get positive buzz, make plays in preseason, make plays in training camp, and continue to look good. I think the drumbeat is very positive right now for Torrey Horton, and hopefully he can get on the field come week 1.
Yeah, Torrey Horton. I did not want to leave him out. Very talented wide receiver out of Colorado State. I still think the pathway for him being really, really fantasy relevant is further down the line. And Jason's given us some clarity. Kenny McIntosh is out for the season. Stanley, I agree. I think it will come a point where Jalen Milrow is the backup quarterback in Seattle. I think if, early in the season something happened, they'd stick Drew Lock out there and it'd be like, we gotta, that wouldn't last very long. All right, Jay.
Yeah.
Indianapolis and Baltimore. And the biggest takeaway, probably the most important, is Keaton Mitchell is back. Keaton Mitchell is back, and they gave him a lot of work. I think they wanted to see how his knee was going to respond. I think he tore damn near every CL he had in his knee. Yep. Was that 2 years ago?
2 years ago now. Yeah,
2 years ago. Did he play at all last year? Did he play at all last season?
Very sparingly last year. I think towards the end of the season he played a little bit, but not so much overall. Just, again, coming back from injury. It was a major surgery. It also came late in the season. I think it was like week 13, week 14 he got hurt after a couple games where he was looking good. So, yeah, this is really his first chance
Yeah.
Post-op or very close, probably about 9 months post-op overall. Looked really, really good. Very explosive. And I think there's still maybe a world where he's still working back a little bit into like that full gear, that full shape, full confidence. 9 carries, 68 yards and a touchdown, 2 big runs.
Yeah.
I thought he looked phenomenal out there. He's going to be the third running back.
Yep.
But he's very explosive.
Can I challenge you? I think he's the second running back. I think Justice Hill is the primary 4-minute offense, passing down back. But if there were a second hammer, I think Justice Hill's role is Justice Hill's role.
The backup rusher. Right?
I think Keaton Mitchell is the backup rusher for Derrick Henry. Just like I think Samaje Perine that's his role, the third down role. And Taj Brooks, if something were to happen to Brown, you get more Taj Brooks in that lead rushing role. I think they're testing out Keaton Mitchell. You know who else looked pretty nice? Rasheen Ali didn't look bad either. He didn't look bad either, but 4 running backs in Baltimore, it's not going to play. Not with Derrick Henry. You're not going to take the 4th running back in Baltimore. And even Keaton Mitchell, he absolutely has increased his value. He was going around 19, round 20 in Underdog, and I think he might get a little bit of a bump up, maybe around 18. A lot of people don't want Justice Hill, but I think the big takeaway was Keaton Mitchell is back. He looked explosive, very good. And I get it. Colts second team defense. It's early preseason. We're not overreacting, but we are reacting to what we saw. I thought Keaton Mitchell looked outstanding, JRich. And then the second best player on the field last night is somebody that, I mean, you and I have been talking about him. I don't really know where you stand. I think you like the player. You know, I really, really like the player, but Tyler Warren, no matter what season for me. I didn't give a damn who the quarterback was. I didn't care about any of that. Like, give me Tyler Warren. And in the first quarter, he had 3 targets. He actually had 4 targets, 4 catches. One of them got called back. His first catch was a screen, a legal man downfield, so they called that back. 3 targets, 3 catches, 40 yards, 13.3 average in the first quarter. It was very clear. He played 20 plays. They wanted to get his package of plays in. No Pittman, no Downs, no Pierce, no Taylor. Okay, let's set this. No Pierce, no Pittman, no Downs, no Taylor. He is going to be a big part of this offense. And the route concepts that he didn't run Pittman's routes. He ran seam routes over the middle and screens. That's what he did last night, and he looked fantastic. I'm very excited about Tyler Warren. I talked about him on my show with Josh and Hayden on their channel. He's one of the 5 players I could not stop drafting in Underdog. I mean, his price was too good for a tight end that could see upwards of 100 targets as a rookie. Is he Brock Bowers? Hell no. Nobody is. Will he be Brock Bowers? No. Is my expectation that he's Brock Bowers? No. But I do believe that this rookie tight end is going to matter and factor in for us for fantasy football, and good positive step in that direction last night for Tyler Warren.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's where, when the top guys are out, you want to see the next guy step up. And this should give us full confidence that Tyler Warren is at worst probably the 3rd option in this offense. We'll see what happens when Downs and Pittman are on the field, and we know Alec Pierce will factor in, but probably not going to be heavily targeted in this offense. But Warren is going to be the guy. They had packages for him. They had plays for him. ARich is finding him very early in the game, and he's going to be a big factor. So for me, who wasn't necessarily all the way in on Tyler Warren, it was definitely a good sight to see that he was heavily utilized, he was being targeted, he was the first read on multiple plays, and you start factoring that in the fact that they could run these same plays in a real game and they can be just as effective. That's where I'm excited for Tyler Warren, and he could be a guy that makes a big difference for fantasy football.
Graphic 13 says Jeremy Shockey 2.0. And here's the thing. Scribbles is not... Scribbles, shout out to Scribbles. He's here every single show. He said, I'm worried about the Colts, though. QB play is so suspect. Here's the thing, y'all. Sure. And I think what that does is it limits the high-end outcome. If you've got Daniel Jones or Anthony Richardson, either of them 2 quarterbacks, you know what you're probably not getting, JRich? The Joe Burrow, I don't know what week it's going to happen, but he's going to give me 303, right? I just know it's going to happen. I know it's going to happen. You're probably not going to get that from that offense, but this idea that they're not going to be able to throw the ball to anybody is just, it's crazy. This is one narrative that I just have not, I don't give a damn who the quarterback is. Throw the ball to big number 84. I think it limits the downfield work, all that stuff. I don't know how else to say it. I've been saying it since April. I'm just not worried. Throw the ball to 84. He's right there. If you can't throw the ball from there to there, we got bigger problems. And whether it's and we'll get to the quarterbacks in a minute, but Shane Steichen, this is something that the Colts over the last 3 years have had the same cast of characters. They've had JT, they've had Alec Pierce, they've had Michael Pittman, and they've had Josh Downs. What have they not had during that time period of Shane Steichen being the head coach? A tight end. They haven't had it. And it's been very obvious to anybody that watches football, that was a position they needed to address. That was whether it was Colston Loveland, Tyler Ward, Harold Fannin, Mason Taylor, they needed a tight end. They got one. And the one that they got, you just don't catch 100 passes at the tight end position in college. It just doesn't happen. In the Big Ten, I'm all in. I'm all in. Tyler Warren, I thought he had a great performance last night in his opening preseason game. The quarterback position is no closer to clarity because Daniel Jones played majority of the first half when Anthony Richardson was supposed to, because Anthony Richardson was decapitated. I mean, it was a hit that would have been on the intro roll package of the old Maddens whenever the NFL was allowed to show violence. Make football violent again. That's what we need. Make football violent as hell again. I want to see big collision impacts. Not to the quarterback, but I want to see big hits. ARich was killed. They killed him in the first drive. Let's walk through what happened. Shane Steichen did not send him out there and say, we are going to protect you and run the ball. Throw the first play. I tweeted in our Discord, Jay. The first pass of the game, when he threw it, because you see the ball leave his hands, right?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, it's an interception. Goddamn pick.
It didn't look good.
I was like, it's about to be picked off. It wasn't. It was a completion to Adnan Mitchell, right where AD could catch it. I was like, okay, not bad. Then he goes out there, throws a very nice ball to Tyler Warren that was contested. I'm like, okay. Then he almost throws a pick.
Yeah.
But he didn't. Almost doesn't count, right? Brandy made a song back in the day, almost doesn't count. Almost threw one. They run the ball once or twice, and then he gets sacked. Pinky's twisted up. His day was over. So he finishes 2 for 3, 21 yards. What I noticed in those first two pass attempts, you know what he did? He stood in the pocket and threw the ball. He stood in the pocket.
He did stand in the pocket.
He stood in the pocket and threw the ball. There's great debate over whose fault that sack was. When I initially saw it, I'm like, dude, free rusher. And then you had two players release on that side. It felt like it was a missed assignment. Some people say he should have saw the hot.
Should Tyler Warren have chipped on that play?
The still images it happened real fast. I mean, the still images, it looks like he had all damn day, but it happened.
Ojabo didn't even look at Ojabo.
The tackle didn't look at Ojabo. The running back didn't look at Ojabo. So it was either ARich or a blown assignment. Neither here nor there. He gets absolutely destroyed. I mean,
jacked up.
It's a kill shot. I mean, oh hell no. That's the play that happens in training camp where they pull up because you can't touch the quarterback and they're like, "Whoo! If this were a game."
He's been waiting, right? Yeah,
he's been waiting and he unleashed it all on Anthony Richardson. Then ARich hobbles off, and they were saying he's hurt. I'm like, it's fucking shoulder. Like he just had shoulder surgery.
I thought it was
my God. Right? And then they punt the ball, and then he's standing on the sideline, no trainer around. So I was like, okay, he's okay. Anyway, we saw the still image. The pinky was twisted this way, said it was dislocated, popped the back end. Day to day, Shane Steichen. My thoughts. We need nothing, no impediment on that right hand. He doesn't need it. Somebody's like, Ray, maybe they just tape it up. I'm like, you need he needs the full use of that hand. I don't give a damn what Burrow can do with a dislocated finger. Anthony Richardson needs the use of all 5 digits. And he probably could use a 6th. But
probably could.
Probably not. What I'm reading is if it's dislocated, it's not a big deal, but they probably don't even play him anymore in the preseason. They got him out of Dodge, JRich. They were like, get out. You're not going to.
So I think
it's two things.
Say about his prospects to start.
What I took it as is we're not even going to fucking risk him right now. He's out there with the second offensive lineman. Damn running backs don't know what they're doing. Get him out of there. Like we cannot risk it. get him off the field. The Irsay daughters were called down. They picked up the red phone, pull him, get him out, put Daniel Jones in. Jones played. I think that
he
cross
was awful, man.
That
made a couple good throws.
That throw to Doolin was nice, where he's rolling out left.
Yeah,
he hit Doolin. That was a good throw. That was a good throw.
Yeah.
But other than that, nothing to write home about. I think just this,
The sad thing with Jones is that I think Jones moved the ball a little bit better, but we didn't see enough of Richardson.
He only got he got 4 plays. So I mean, he was 2 for 3.
It's not enough of a look.
It was an incomplete look, but
and Jones is sub 50%.
If we don't see him anymore, say he doesn't if he's not gonna play in the game, I wonder if he's not gonna practice because they just I'm not a doctor, so I'm asking you, Dr. Richards. I'm going to assume you dislocate something, you pop it back in, there's going to be swelling, right? Like it's just, It's not like, oh, okay, we're back to normal. Probably some swelling, maybe some soreness, which means he's not going to practice, which means Daniel Jones is getting the reps. It's setting up. We'll see. Let's wait for an injury report. I don't even want to comment on it. Let's wait for an injury report. I don't even want to comment on it, but I've got some thoughts of how it's setting up. And it's not positive for Richardson.
Really? So I disagree. So let's get into it very quickly. I think if it's serious, this is a best case scenario for Anthony Richardson. And here's why.
Why you say that? I don't think so. But go ahead.
So Daniel Jones gets all the reps in practice, hopefully looks a little better in preseason, and becomes the starter, right? Is that good for Richardson? No, of course not. But the reason why it works in his favor is once Daniel Jones syncs it up for a month, which he's probably going to do.
Probably.
Then you insert Anthony Richardson as a starter, and you don't want to go back to Daniel Jones because you've already seen what he can do, and maybe there's a longer leash for him in that instance. What's going on?
We got some news.
Okay.
Got some news while you're talking about it. Go ahead and read it.
Colts quarterback Anthony Richardson, who was declared out last night with a finger injury, has had all his x-rays come back clean and will be back on the practice field in the coming days per sorts. That's from Jordan Schultz at Schultz Report on X. But that's fine. But does that mean he can throw? Because he's already not an accurate passer. And if his pinky's hurt, that's not going to make things any easier. So I think this actually gives him some grace for being so in his first start.
He wasn't so. Let's just be
okay.
No. Let's just be very, very real. Like watching the flow of the game, what you wanted him to do was stay in the pocket and throw the fucking football. That's what people wanted to see. In his first 2 pass attempts, he did that. He did it. He hit Adnan Mitchell on the far left sideline, and he threw a great ball only where in traffic, Tyler Warren was blanketed. He only had 3 pass attempts. He went 2 for 3 for.
And he also took the biggest sack of the preseason.
He actually took the biggest sack in NFL history. No other quarterback has ever been sacked.
It's not about whether or not he was sacked, but it was.
Now we're at the
sack.
We're leveling. We are comparing the level of sackness to.
But what does it speak to? What does it speak to? When you take a sack like that in an NFL game, preseason or otherwise, what does that tell you?
Well,
it tells you
somebody missed an assignment. It tells me somebody missed an assignment.
Yes.
You don't know who it was.
But good quarterbacks see those things. They do. Let's be honest. So for a quarterback who already we know isn't the best quarterback, isn't the smartest quarterback, and especially still learning.
So a good quarterback's never been sacked like that. A good quarterback's never taken. He's the only one that's only had. It's only been him.
But he only played 6 plays. If you play a full game, you take one of those sacks. Okay, it's gonna happen. But when you take a sack like that, when you only played 6 plays, that looks a lot worse.
I really wish that when I played football, I could pick and choose when the quarterback threw the ball at me. Like, I only gave up 1 touchdown, but it happened early. Like, who cares?
But
when
he's
it happened,
the quarterback. You're talking.
But
about
how do you know it's him? How do you know it's his fault?
Okay, so this is football, right? And everything always comes back to the quarterback. You throw an interception, you take a sack, you fumble. It's going to come back. It doesn't matter if Tyler Warren missed an assignment. That doesn't matter. Not in the NFL, it doesn't. In the locker room and in the meeting rooms and in the film room, they'll have those discussions. But in the eyes of the public, you make a mistake like that, it's on the quarterback. Of course it is. It always is. And I think every quarterback in the NFL, maybe other than Anthony Richardson, would say, yeah, I got to see that. I got to know who's coming and who's not. That's what they do. That's how they approach the game. That's their approach to all things like that.
I don't know, man. I think that I just think that focusing on the sack, like we're at that level where we want to see him throw the ball. He threw the ball. He only had 3 pass attempts. 2 of them were good. 1 of them was almost picked off. He handed the ball off twice, and he took a sack. And that's J-Ball said he got hit 1.5 seconds after the snap. If that's what we're going to hang on to, then fine. But what people wanted to see was him stand there and throw the ball. And when Shane Steichen and the offense went out there, that's what they told him to do. Throw the goddamn football. And he threw 3 passes. He completed 2.
He got hurt,
incomplete,
right? But this is where like you're ignoring.
I'm not ignoring. What is he supposed? What is he? I'm truly at. What was he supposed to do to avoid his pinky getting? What? So the play was a okay, every play's not gonna hold on. Every play's not gonna be perfect, right?
Okay.
Every play's not gonna be perfect. What he got hit by an untouched defender and his fucking finger got bent. What was he supposed to do?
Okay, so what did Bryce Young do at DKR with the game on the line, playing for Alabama with a free rusher coming off his right side? What did he do? He got out of the way, right? He stepped up in the pocket and he made the play. That's what you're supposed to do. So don't tell me what is he supposed to do. Well, maybe see the guy running right at him, right in front of him. Maybe see that. Like, let's not pretend. Like, quarterbacks make those plays. Free rushers happen. But don't say what is he supposed to do. He's supposed to see the free rusher from his front side. That's what's supposed to happen. Come on.
Man, I really wish it's just not as easy as you think it is.
I'm not saying it's easy.
I'm
not saying it's easy.
It's we'll see.
Marcus is saying it wasn't the same. I don't think it's all that different. And it's just an example I had on the top of my head.
Well, let's see. Who all right. Throw the ball in the ground, take a penalty. 1 bad play shouldn't define him. We're trying to create metrics that don't match. If he doesn't get hurt, he's praised for holding on to the football. He had a bad play. It happens. We're analyzing the sack. And he said, Jorge, no way you can't always see those. Ray's face says it all. Let's talk about Adnan Mitchell. Adnan Mitchell has been getting a bunch of hype in camp. A.D. Mitchell, 2nd-year receiver out of Texas, I believe. Drafted in the 2nd round last year, pretty high draft capital. He looked pretty good. I think Adnan Mitchell, for the hype that he had coming off of the joint practice with Baltimore, he went out there, he caught 2 passes, he was targeted multiple times down the field. I thought A.D. Mitchell looked pretty good. I think the issue for him is, unfortunately, a very, very talented receiver stuck in a room that there's probably not going to be a lot of volume, not going to be a lot of opportunity for a lot of receivers, because Pittman's going to be on the field, Downs going to be on the field, and Alec Pierce is always on the field 100% of the time. So it's one of those things where you're just hoping he shows some flashes and maybe we get that year 4 A.D. Mitchell breakout. I don't know, but he looked good. He looked good in that limited opportunity.
Yeah, he definitely had his moments. Like you said, had a great week of practice. Started a little bit slow, but has definitely picked it up this week. And I've seen a lot of beat reporters say that he's had a much better week of camp this week. And obviously, it kind of turned into the game. Saw a lot of targets, a lot of off-target balls. I mean, quarterback play was atrocious in this game from the Colts. But he did make that first play, right? Like we talked about with Tyler Warren. Making those first couple plays is definitely indicative that you're going to be involved. But unless somehow he gets past Alec Pierce on the depth chart, I just don't know if there's going to be much opportunity for him this season. But maybe that can change, and maybe he can get past Alec Pierce on the depth chart. But it's going to be Pittman, Downs, Warren, and then we'll kind of see from there.
All right, tonight we've got Detroit, Atlanta. Any report on who's playing and who's not? I saw one from a beat reporter, JRich, again, just this is what I saw, that the offense was a work in progress in Detroit without Ben Johnson. That's what I've heard, that it's been a work in progress in Detroit, still early. We've got, of course, the Shador show at 6 o'clock. Shador and the Cleveland Browns take on Bryce Young and the Carolina Panthers. And then at 6:30, we have the Washington Commanders versus your New England Patriots. JRich, Detroit and Atlanta. Who do you really want to see in that one?
So I don't think we're going to see anybody in that game, honestly. And the main reason why is Zach Robinson, Raheem Morris came from LA. The Rams don't ever play anybody in preseason. They never do. So I don't think we're going to see anybody, but maybe we see a little bit of Penix. Maybe we see a little bit of that first team offense. The Lions, especially, they just lost, is it Rakestraw? They just
Enos
lost someone
Rakestraw
for like the entire
their
season.
Cornerback.
I mean, the fact that they're already losing guys early in the year, I don't think we see anybody. I'm much more excited to see Shador, and depending on how much we get from that offense.
I was going to just,
right? Like, do you think you see anybody in Atlanta? I don't think the Lions play anybody, but do you think anyone in Atlanta plays?
Well, that's why I was going through the games to see who we want to see. Tesla will be back on the field. Tesla
will play.
Tesla will be on the field for the Lions, and he's been getting some run. Are there any sleepers in Atlanta? I don't think so. I guess Kyle Pitts.
I think just Nick Nash is there, right?
Nick Nash, yeah, probably not. Okay, Carolina, Cleveland, of course, it's Shador, right? It's Shador. I think we want to. Samson, Harold Fannin should play. David Njoku, I doubt he's going to do a lot in that one. Yeah. So offensively, you want to see that. Maybe Jamari Thrash, probably not going to play Tillman. Those guys. Carolina, I want to see Bryce. I want to see Bryce Young. I want to see Tedero McMillan. I want to see T-Mac. I'm not going to call him Ted. T-Mac, I want to see him play. I want to see what Trevor Etienne. I haven't heard a lot about Trevor Etienne in camp, so I want to see him get on the field and play, see what that backup running back spot in Carolina looks like. And then Washington, New England, I think there are a lot of interesting preseason guys on both sides of the ball that we want to see in this game. I'm curious to see if Mariota is going to play, or is he the veteran that won't play and then they'll just play the third string quarterback? Are they going to put JD5 out there? I want to see Josh Connerly. I really do want to see the Washington Commanders' first string offense. I want to see Tunsil and Josh Connerly out there just to see how that O-line looks with Jaden Daniels. JCM, I want to see the hyped up rookie running back. I want to see him. Oh, Jimmy Horn, Dylan, yeah, Jimmy Horn as well from Carolina. Absolutely. Washington, I mean, for New England side of the ball, it's like all the pass catchers, right? You want to see a little Hendo if they let Hendo play a little bit, and then you want to see Kyle Williams. You want to see Keyshawn Boutte. You want to see those pass catchers get out there with Drake May throwing the ball and seeing who Drake May's targets are. I doubt Stephon Diggs is going to be out there. He's a veteran coming off an injury. Diggs ain't playing. Diggs ain't going to play. So I want to see those pass catchers for New England. Where you at?
Yeah, I mean, I want to see Will Campbell and how that offensive line looks. That's going to be a big part of how good this team can be. There's a lot of expectations that I wouldn't say I necessarily believe in. But yeah, I want to see a lot of Kyle Williams. I hope he gets a lot of targets, gets a lot of work in this game, because everyone's excited for him. And we'll kind of see from there. We're trying to figure out who that wide receiver 5 is going to be. Could it be Javon Baker? Could it be Jalen Polk? Boutte's probably fine. Matt Collins will be there. There's been some reports that Kendrick Bourne could even be a potential cut candidate because he hasn't looked that great so far. But that's really what you want to look for, I think, and then as well, depending on who plays, is the defense. Is how good does this defense look? Because there was reports, Ray, that the defense was looking really, really good, and Drake May was even outplaying Jaden Daniels at joint practice.
That's what they were saying.
So we'll see who plays and how much they play, but I kind of want to see how good this defense looks. It's a lot of new pieces. They brought in a lot of players. Yep. Very different under Vrabel, but excited to see how it looks, and if JD5 plays, kind of how he handles that.
And then we got the full gamut of games over the weekend. Saturday, we got Giants, Buffalo. Let's see, we got games Saturday. Do we have any on Sunday? So we've got Thursday,
there's 2 more on
Saturday. We got Sunday games. No Monday night games for preseason week 1, so they didn't stretch it. So we got Sunday. We got a lot of ball. There'll be a lot to talk about on Monday. Quickly, Jay, do you want to get into the Judkins news? There was some Judkins news. I see Joe talking about it in the chat. There was some news that came out where Judkins is waiving his right to a speedy trial. So he's pushing this out to 2026. He wants to fight this legal battle that he's currently in.
Yeah, I mean, it's very interesting because I had a couple theories, Ray, and one of them was, what if he just doesn't sign his rookie deal and re-enters the draft next season?
No way.
Right? Once the legal trouble is over, we kind of went through this with Jamar Stewart. What are his options and kind of what's going to happen? But is there a world where, you push back the trial, you handle all your business, maybe suspension comes, and you re-enter the draft next season? I don't know if they'd be willing to do that. But outside of that, it's shaping up for him to not play this year. Because if you're the Browns, there's no reason to sign him until you get some resolution, some clarity as to what his charges are, what happened, and ultimately what his fate will be, not just from the real life scenario, but the NFL as well. And they own his draft rights. So it's not like there's any reason to push to sign him, get him on the field, whatever. And they've already said they're not going to worry about signing him until his legal issues are handled. So waiving the right to a speedy trial, allowing the defense to build more of a case, find out more information, negotiate a settlement, kind of whatever ultimately happens. It just seems like him getting on the field is less and less likely soon, and probably going to be a distant future for him, ultimately playing for the Browns or whoever he ends up playing for.
What do you think? It's just tough, man. It's tough to draft him right now and redraft. It's Dynasty, I think, is a little bit of a different story. Redraft and seasonal leagues, man. I mean, he was going as high as, I think, round 5, round 6 in seasonal leagues. So it's we'll see how it plays out. But apparently, it looks like he wants to fight this. He wants to fight this, and that is well within his right. So we'll see how the Judkins news plays out. I see Buckeye DK. What's up, baby? Buckeye DK, I ain't seen you in a minute. How you been? I hope all is well. Stanley saying he can go back, but he's not going to go back to college. But that is a great segue, JRich, because one of the more anticipated, hyped up collegiate players who a lot of people were like, oh my God, he could be in the draft this year, said, I ain't going out. I ain't going nowhere. Arch Manning, JRich, University of Texas starting quarterback and son, family member of the Hall of Fame. Peyton Manning, got Eli Manning, freaking the Cooper Manning, all the damn Mannings. Arch Manning, UT starting quarterback, said we ain't going nowhere. We're going to play this season out. We're going to try to win a natty, and then I'm running it back. Me and Sark and this offense and all the dope talent that we got, Arch Manning ain't going nowhere, JRich. There are a lot of people who still have Arch Manning in their 2026 mock drafts.
QB1?
Yeah, QB1 in 2026. He's not coming out. We've been saying this for months. Arch Manning in his camp, they've said it. We got Marcus Myers in the chat. He is actually a national champion member of the University of Texas 05 squad. He told us he ain't coming out. So JRich, Arch Manning not coming out. People need to go ahead and get over the fact that he's not going to be a part of this class, but it is setting up for a monstrous 2027 draft with Jeremiah Smith, Ryan Williams. You got Cam Coleman, Arch Manning. At 27 draft, JRich, the top of that 27 draft right now, Arch Manning, Jeremiah Smith. Which one you taking?
Oh, I'm taking Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith.
You got to. He was at the podium after practice saying that he's going to play faster this season. Faster? Mm-hmm. Jeremiah Smith.
Jeremiah Smith. Oh, yeah. Everybody saying 27 draft is loaded. Loaded, JRich. Very excited for that. Anything else? I'm gonna scour the news feed real quick because it seems like every time we get off, something breaks. So let me hit Adam Schefter up. JRich, Madden is out. Did you get the new Madden? Hit the music, man. Hit the music.
I am not a Madden guy, unfortunately. I play my college football with my buddies, but Madden
it's dope.
An easy pass for me.
No, JRich, it's different. They have made some big-time improvements, man. They've made some big-time improvements. I bought it on the damn PS5 and the Nintendo Switch, too. And just portable Madden, there's nothing better, dude. Portable Madden is awesome. So that's the show, JRich. We got Bleacher Report later today. We are in the app. Make sure you follow us on Bleacher Report. Like, you open up the Bleacher Report app, boom. It's Ray GQ and it's JRich. So make sure you pull up. We're talking Arch Manning today. And Caleb Williams a little later today. We were talking about preseason players to watch. Jay, it's been a great week. Anything you want to say to people before we get out of here, man?
No, just enjoy some football this weekend. Very excited. And of course, we'll be back on Monday to recap everything. 3 days a week, Ray. We are officially back. And football is back too. Very excited for it. But everyone, like, subscribe, have a good weekend. And we'll see you guys on Monday. We're out. Peace.